So this last, this one little incident where we have the boats, they're being lured in. They're being lured in to be slaughtered, guys, because those two sailors that they said. So the Democrats are like, oh, we care more about these criminal terrorists that are trying to kill Americans than we do about our Secretary of War and President. We're trying to criminalize them by any means possible, and so it's not working very well. So they're being pushed into this one corner. They did the same thing with the Epstein files. They wanted them to be released, and now that they're being released, they're the ones that are being implicated and close association with Epstein. And now that they're pushing this agenda on the two sailors, these two terrorist criminals that were survivors of the latest the latest terrorist transportation of drugs. And so now we're seeing that they were gathering up some of the material and getting ready to maybe be picked up again, and maybe even communicating with other groups to come pick them up and trying to salvage some of their material. So they got hit. So that's going to come out. All right, it's already come out, but the Democrats are still pushing. It's already been revealed, but they're pushing. They want an investigation, so they're going to get their investigation. And just like they put out these two sailors that you said, which are really criminals, were gathering materials, and we made sure they didn't get those materials and get salvaged and get picked up and continue the operation. So that's what we're seeing right now. So coming at you live from the Trump Hotel. All right. So great place. As you see behind me, there's a place where somebody can have they pull out sofa, full fridge, refrigerator back there, kitchen. You could live here if you wanted to. Here's a walk-in bathroom with a shower, and here's the master bed on the corner. So look at that view. That view, spectacular, right? All right, so got the mountains over here, out there. Love this view. So you can hang out in bed with a nice view. See the skyline? That's going to be really beautiful at night. All right, so his and hers closet, roomy, because you got a lot of these hotels these days, and there's hardly any room. They have one small closet for two people. Bullshit. So, and then the bathroom, of course, jacuzzi tub with a view, and walk-in shower, and separate toilet. That's always nice too. And what do we have here? Oh, that's a maid closet, so can't go in there. All right, so luxury. Trump has a luxury. Now, Trump does not have a casino gambling license. Why do you think that is? Because they were not able to use him, probably. So they took away his gambling capability. That's my thoughts. All right, I don't know the big story on that, but we know they don't like Trump because Trump doesn't play their game. And so they're constantly trying to take out Trump and his family. Not cool. All right, so let's look at a video of this this boat nonsense. It is really out of control. All right, so this is LT, and we know, always, for a long time, it's been revealing really good stuff. That's got 502,000 followers on Rumble. So doing a good job. He got kicked off YouTube like a lot of us, and he came over to Rumble early on and just has been blowing it up.
Homeland Security, Stephen Miller. All right, Miller, have you ever heard of a controversy like this in your life?
No, this is the first time I can ever think where a major political party has sided with narco trafficking, murdering, terrorist scum. You know, you play one of those clips from a Democrat who said, "Oh, there's no such thing as a narco terrorist. They're just narco persons." The ISIS and these narco terrorists in our hemisphere use the same tactics.
All right. So I've said this before, and I probably a lot of you at this point understand that the Democrat Party is funded through these terrorists, these narco terrorists, these cartels. These cartels have come into America on a massive level. Chinese have come into America on a massive level. Thanks all the way back to Clinton. Clinton was giving away nuclear secrets. Bill Clinton was giving away nuclear secrets to the Chinese. So this has been an ongoing problem with these Democrats, guys. They are really taking down America and selling us out.
Use rape as a weapon. They skin people alive. They cut off their heads. They burn them to death. These narco terrorists, if a politician opposes them, they kidnap their family. If they don't give them what they want, they murder their family. You can go to the Border Patrol here in the United States and you can say, draw me a map of the border, and on the Mexican side, tell me which cartel controls every inch of territory. And the border agents can literally say, mile by mile, which cartel controls which section of the border. Not the Mexican government. They don't control it. Which cartel? When President Trump declared...
Okay, so I want them to start revealing, I think it's coming soon, is who is being paid. Who is being paid? I mean, look at all of these people that are getting millions and millions of dollars in Congress. Millions, right? We know who's being paid. You look along the border, you see which of these border families are living in multi-million-dollar homes and don't do anything. Same thing with the politicians, end up with multi-million-dollar homes. We know where the money's going, guys. Who's being paid off?
These organizations, foreign terrorist organizations, that wasn't just a talking point. That wasn't just a buzzword. It was a promise from this president to use hard American power to kill and to stop these terrorists, these enemies of the United States, from killing our families, from killing our...
All right, so you have to ask yourself, and I've seen a lot of your comments, because I used to, when I was in SEAL Team 6, we have speedboats, and I probably still do, very high speed. You see on the back of this boat right here, there's 3 engines. I think we had 5. So, and they were big engines and they were quiet. Right? So we could come up on boats or, some kind of freighter or whatever, and board it. I've talked about this. I was a lead climber. We do the hook and climb. I was the first one up, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's a capability where some of these container ships have the back end that can open, and these speedboats can drive into them. Okay, I said it. Now it can be revealed. All right. So a lot of you are like, you think you're really smart, and you're saying these speedboats can't come all the way to America. Well, they're going somewhere, and that's where they're going. All right. So that's the next level. And who knows? I guess maybe I might have just been the one to reveal it.
Children from taking over our communities.
How about that? Passion continues to roll off of Stephen Miller going over these Democrats, how they behave. These boats, again, were taken out, delivering drugs to our country to kill hundreds of thousands of our young children, mostly young children, I believe. Had enough. They're being blown to smithereens. Now, President Trump says, I'm dealing with the poisoning of America. He's right. The Democrats are with the narco terrorists, and it's disgusting. Disgusting what they're dealing with. And the media, of course, belonging to Satan himself, continue their lies. But finally, a guy named Brad Todd, they're points from the Soroses. They helped me out with this, and I came up with a good one. So yeah.
All right, guys. So the Somalis. Now, you guys know that Black Hawk Down. You've seen the movie, probably a lot of you. Somalis basically came out on massive numbers to talk about how some of my SEAL Team 6 buddies were there, and they told me the horror stories that were going on. How everybody, women, children, everybody came out and fought them. Everybody. And it was game on. And now we have these people here in America. So we tried to help them in Somalia. So we're like, oh, let's open our hearts to them and bring them to America. We brought criminal gangs to America. And here's one of their leaders.
I'm going to go on Communist News Network. They're going to ask me a question and I'm going to answer it so that it makes sense to people, so that they can just brush it off and, say, yeah, it was, third parties. It had nothing to do with us. We had no knowledge. The third parties, they get kind of corrupt. Just, how it works. It's not a big deal. But when they get caught, the Ilhan Omar starts threatening.
As much as
All right. So she is threatening. Look at her words. So remember the story I just told you, and I've been telling you about Somalia, how they basically came and fought us. We're going to have to take these people out. We're going to have to fight them. And they're already getting ready. They already have the language. They're already pushing the narrative, and we're going to have to fight them.
Trump and his cronies want to act like we have no power to respond, the truth is we are more powerful than we think we are.
Look at her reading. She's not talking from the heart. She's reading a script. She's a puppet. She's a terrorist puppet here in America, in Congress.
And I want to underscore the importance of using every single leverage that we have at our arsenal, because we do
Our arsenal? Our arsenal? Listen to the words.
have a lot of leverage. We need to make sure that those who are collaborating with the authoritarian regime pay a costly
Price. So there's probably good people within the Somalian community that are collaborating, and she is saying they should pay a costly price. That means they should be targeted and killed, because that's what happened in Somalia.
price.
And she's reading her talking.
All right, so there's a lot going on, guys. We need to really be on board with understanding that we're going to have to fight these people. All right, we brought them in. We didn't, of course. American military that fought these people overseas. We have been betrayed. They have brought these people in, these Democrat a-holes, right? These Marxist leftists that just don't care about America. They just want to vote. And they want to replace us with people that they can control, because they're all voting Democrat. They're all voting Democrat who are destroying America. So they got to go. They got to go. We're going to have to stand up. We're going to have to do it. I know it's tough. I know it's tough because we have big hearts. But we're going to have to we're going to have to get down and get dirty with these people. All right. It's coming. Now, in the meantime, we have potentially earth changes, which are starting to kick up. So I know some of you are like, well, let's just let the earth changes take care of business. Right? So I think we need to be aware of what's going on in all corners. I'm not someone that goes out. I'm not a fear monger. I just want you guys to be aware. I want you to be aware of these people, these Somalians that are, raping our country, literally and figuratively, economically, billions. Now they're looking now. But remember, before it was Tim Walz, it was like maybe $1 billion. Now they're looking at 10 billion that was stolen. And they're saying that it could be in every state in America where these money laundering crimes are going on. I can tell you already, it's already been going on in the housing. So they've been using housing to money launder for a long time.
Geophysicist Stefan Burns here. We have a big solar storm impact coming in soon. Check out this differential imagery. of that explosion right there, that is headed towards Earth. The estimate right now is that this will trigger a G3 geomagnetic storm. The scale rating goes from 1 to 5. A G3 level is a strong storm, or sometimes they call it a major storm. And you can see that that was a...
All right, so we're getting hit over and over and over again by these major sunspots, major coronal holes, major explosions from the sun, and it's kicking off all of these earthquakes. I think that in Europe, Camp Flegrei is right on the verge of exploding once again, like it did, I don't know, 20,000 years ago. It blew up, and it's not a volcano. It's basically a big hole. It's bubbling, and it's probably going to blow, and it's probably going to be a nuclear winter type of event in Europe, unfortunately. Now, hopefully it will happen, if it's going to happen, this winter, because if it happens during the summer, it's going to black everything out. We're not going to get sun, and it'll destroy crops all over the world, especially in Europe. So if it happens, soon, of course, there'll be, unfortunately, a lot of people that will probably expire from this, but there are, I think they've started evacuations. They've evacuated Camp Flegrei in the past, back in, I think, the 70s or something like that. They evacuated it. It got pretty significant back then. You guys might remember back in the 70s, I do, where we were having global cooling. They were saying we're going into a global cooling event. But what happened is we went deep into a global cooling, and even Spock came out. Leonard Nimoy came out and talked about. I remember him because I was a big Star Trek fan, so they had him come out and talk about how we're moving into global cooling. And I remember going in science. We went out to this one pond during winter, and everybody had all the warmest clothes they could have, and it was still freezing. And we went out there and we're taking samples of this pond that was right on the school campus, high school campus. So it was fun. It was wild, unbelievable. So everybody thought that we're going into another global cooling event, and then it warmed up, and then they said, no, it's global warming. And now it's going back to global cooling. This time it's going to go deeper because it goes in cycles. And this time it's going to go deep into global cooling. So that's what we're moving into. Every time we go into a global cooling event, we have massive, because the Earth, its electrical fields they degenerate. The energy that comes from the sun, the sunspot activity, basically keeps Earth, with a nice electrical field. The poles will start to wander, like we're seeing right now. The poles, if they get really bad, which they seem to be doing, can massively shift and cause incredible destruction on Earth on a level that will wipe out a lot of humanity. So that's a possibility, unfortunately. But we're also seeing the sunspot activity that's really ramping up earthquakes, really ramping up volcanic activity. And it seems to be ramping up to a point where something's really going to kick off. And it's going to be rough on humanity. So we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But I've been watching, and I have the feeling that it's coming. But I've been watching, like Edgar Casey and lots of other people, their channelers and so forth, that have been predicting this time frame in December. Right. So I've seen people that have passed over and that have come back. One was a little boy, one was a man, and a lot of them have said that Jesus has told them, from the other side, and angelic, beings and so forth, that this is the time where there's going to be some major Earth events. So it's looking like, you just have to be a little bit observant to see that things seem to be cooking here on Earth to a point where it's going to cook off. All right. So we just saw a 7.0 in Alaska. And we also saw Mount Kilauea really erupt in a massive way.
Massive earthquake today, magnitude 7.0 at the San Andreas Fault off the north, guys. What?
Now, this was yesterday, but she's talking. So she put this out yesterday. So this was on the 6th. This is the 7th. So if you haven't seen it, it was a 7.0 and now it's a 7th, but it happened on the 6th. Don't get confused.
What is going on? Of course, the culprit, Pacific Ring of Fire again. A powerful magnitude 7.0 earthquake struck this fault system, the San Andreas Fault of the North. The earthquake.
The San Andreas Fault of the North. So it happened on the Canada and Alaska border. So I guess the major quake 7.0 happened in Canada, and then the there's been, I think, something like excuse me, 250. Let me see. Over 160 earthquakes strike Alaska in 24 hours following a magnitude 7 quake. So on the Alaska side, there's massive numbers of aftershocks, quakes, and very, very significant ones. Now, Alaska, as you guys may know, is just right above where I have predicted we're going to see in the Cascadia a major earthquake that's going to cause a tsunami. So it seems to be right above it, right above it now. So it was up in Alaska. Now it's come down into the Canada-Alaska borderline in the San Andreas Fault of the North. And heads up. It's looking pretty funky out there. So just be heads up. We have to be guided by spirit, be guided by intuition and God during this time frame. All right, so here we have Mount Kilauea is really ripping.
Like another routine, fantastic and amazing eruption. We actually have some drama associated with this eruption. So I'll get to that here in just a second. Let me start you with some of the basics from this eruption. This eruption, episode 38, began today, Saturday, December 6th at about 8:45 in Hawaii time, Hawaii Standard Time. Or let's go ahead and speed. Oh, we've got it at 4 times already. Let's keep it there then.
All right, so this really started to crank, and it took out, I guess, one of the cameras. USGS has cameras that basically have been monitoring the eruptions, and this one basically was taken out.
And maybe we'll skip forward a bit. So here we are at 9:49. The timestamp where I have this, where the camera actually goes down. So as you might have guessed already, what happens to this camera is it gets taken out. The fountaining gets closer and closer, possibly as that inclination of the vent maybe changed, or maybe the vigor coming out of the vent, the energy got a little bit bigger. And so that actually got a little bit closer. Not sure what the winds were doing here. It looks like we still had points. So this is pretty much it all zoomed out. Now look how closely that falling tephra and those pieces of lava are falling near the camera. And here as we approach 9:57, I mean, it's just right there. It's a deluge of falling ash and chunks of lava, and then it goes kaput. And so the camera, 11:47, and the south vent here still cranking. Then as we kind of move forward here, you'll watch.
All right, so there were like 3 vents that were like blowing lots of lava up. It's pretty much slowed down again, but it's, we had another major blast from the sun, and kicked to 7.0, and it kicked. I just had a feather on my arm, so thank you, angels. So I just had we just had a big 7.0 in Alaska, right above the Cascadia earthquake zone, and we just had Mount Kilauea just like super light off, and it was right in the zone of where that energy came in from the sun. Right, it blasted that area, and then bam, right. So earthquake, and then Kilauea is like just going boom. So if we get to the point where Camp Flegrei is within a zone of like getting hit, and it doesn't really matter if it's in the zone, the energy goes into the earth and it really cranks the earth energies up. So it can go It can go into one side and come out the other side. It can affect one side and affect another side of Earth. So I don't know how that is with we have a flat Earth. I don't know, but if we have a round Earth, then it makes sense because it comes in one area and pops the other side. So like I said, I don't think it's a flat, and I don't think it's a round. It's something, they've dumbed us down, so we're not quite sure what it is, but it's something not quite like the other. So I don't know. So we'll, so at some point we'll be like, oh, God, of course, why did they teach us dumb shit? Yeah, that's what we need to figure it out. Why did they teach us dumb shit? Well, so they can keep us dumbed down, so they can, be on the up and up when everything goes crazy like it is right now. And they're in their nice little bunkers, which are being destroyed, unfortunately for them. But I think we're going to get a lot of reveals coming up very soon. Now, Pam Bondi is, a lot of people don't like Pam Bondi. They think that things are moving slow. I don't agree. I think things are moving at the speed that they're supposed to, because they want to do a big sweep. So if they come in and do a little bit here, then these baddies are going to run, and we don't want them to run when we get them all. Or we're getting them already, so there's no need to rush, but we'll reveal when the reveals come. Pam Bondi, Attorney General Pam Bondi just dropped a bombshell memo that's got the progressive crowd clutching their pearls. Bondi sent out detailed guidance to federal prosecutors laying out a roadmap to charge groups accused of aligning with Antifa, while framing it as a broader effort to tackle domestic terrorism and political violence. Now, you know that we've been talking about this for years. This is coming. So now they're laying out the groundwork for it, guys. Now they're going to be able to go out in the open, even more than they're already doing. Those of us that have eyes to see and ears to hear have been seeing all this and trying to relate it to you, but some of you don't get it, and you get all pissy. And we don't need you pissy. We need you involved and aware. All right, so Trump administration to zero in on Antifa, an ideology often at odds with their policies, while citing it as the sole example in a memo meant to address all violent extremism. So the memo doesn't miss words, pointing out Antifa's opposition on 2 key points favored by the current administration, which is basically trying to get rid of all of these illegal immigrants that are criminals first, and then the other ones later, right? But of course, the satanic, like LT said, he calls them the satanic press. The satanic press basically is trying to convince us that, oh no, it's these are innocent people. We can't go after them. Everyone has a right to be here in America. No, and effing no. God. So it's a process to awaken people and to basically lure the Democrats in and destroy some more of them, destroy their narrative, destroy some of the satanic press, destroy their narrative as well. So it's a process that's moving along very, very nicely, and they're on a slippery slope, as it says right here. It says departure has drawn sharp criticism for seemingly targeting one ideological camp over others, raising questions about whether dissent is being reframed as terrorism. So a lot of these people are paid domestic terrorists, guys. Paid, highly paid, well paid, lots of money. And we have to go after these. So it goes into wire fraud, tossing in the heavy hitting racketeer, influenced and corrupt organization, the RICO charges for good measure. So they're really going after these groups. And the Democrats and the satanic press are crying. Wah. You guys are going down. You're going down. So Antifa. All right. So let's look at the Antifa flag. All right. So you gotta see them for who they are. So there we go. Here's the Antifa flag. So we know anti-fascist. Now I want you to remember that. Remember that? Whoa, anti-fascist. All right, you got that? Did I ingrain it into your mind? All right, let's have a little fun with it. All right. So Antifa, the Antifa flag. What does it look like? All right. So our good friend Sheila Holm has pointed this out to us, and an eternal plan always trumps. I'm at the Trump Hotel. Trumps a human plan. All right. So you see that Antifa flag. Look at this paramilitary wing of the Communist Party of Germany. Wow, that's the Nazis. The Nazis, right? The Nazis. Somebody's like got this one program where it's like this English voice reads off what they write, and so they wrote Nazi. So it's pronounced they're the English voice AI is pronouncing it Nazi. I'm like, that's pretty good. Nazi. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Looks like, sounds like, is like the Nazis. All right. All right. Antifa is the Nazis. The Nazis. All right. So, oh my God. It doesn't get any better than this. Life is good. All right, so we're seeing silver basically, I think it's basically coiled up for another move higher. So we're seeing basically, I believe, a squeeze unlike any squeeze in all of history. So you go back to the 1980s where those bros came in and tried to control the silver market. And the government said, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't make this paper," because they actually had paper that was backed by silver, but the government, banks, blah blah blah, the Nazis don't back it with silver. They just have all this paper which suppresses the price of silver, and now they're getting their booties handed to them. All right, on a major level. So you see this. It's coiling. So this is the way silver works. It goes boom, and then it goes sideways, it coils, and then it goes boom. And then it goes sideways or down. See all these? See all these coilings? And then booms, sideways, go big, go down, go sideways, go big. Go down, go sideways, go big. All right, so we went big. Now we're ready to go big again. So 60s, we're going to push over 60 possibly this week, I believe. Looks like it's going to be this week, and then it's going to go 75, maybe 80. I said it would go between 75 and 85 before the end of the year. We'll see if Mike's right. All right, so somewhere in there. Excuse me. All right, so you silver peeps, you want to survive when the Nazis, take down the system. You want to be able to survive when the earth changes come. You want to be able to survive, right? You want to be intuitive. You want to get the where to move, when to move, and you want to have the idea of having good